Welcome to the Legend of Zelda Adventure Link review. I'm going to use the footage that I used from my Let's Play to be able to review the Legend of Zelda II. There's a lot of things I do like, but I understand the grievances within this game. Like, it's too hard, it's way too different from the first game, and for a sequel, it doesn't really do much different. Like in Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3, The Legend of Zelda, the only real difference is that it's harder in Super Mario Brothers 2 for Japanese. But in Super Mario Bros. 3, there's new power-ups, there's new stuff, but it's still a 2D platformer. What I'm showing here is the first dungeon, and it's very simple. I remember that the bosses and the dungeon layouts, they're very straightforward. Even throughout this entire Let's Play, I did not get lost once. There's so many things to convey, ways to get out of situations, that it makes the game seem hard, but the dungeon layouts aren't hard. The only thing that makes this game really hard is the enemies. Their patterns get a lot harder. Their damage output gets harder. There are ways, if you had more health in the beginning or something, to make this much easier. And there is, on the Nintendo Switch Online mode, to level your entire character far beyond the level that you need it to be, to make this game a little bit more easier. But it takes a while for the game to actually be hard for a combat-focused game. As you can see, I can easily breeze through these. And this is like the first dungeon, so it makes you feel like that it's not going to be, well, hard. Especially with a full heal in one of the rooms. First dungeon is a very easy-going, straight to the bad guy dungeon. But you probably remember that from the Let's Play. Like, later on, these guys only take 2 hits. Because your sword strength gets stronger. But because you're so weak, everything hurts when they are attacking you. Everything hurts. But I remember the boss not being that hard. This is the entire clip of the boss fight. Oh no, I didn't clip that. I clipped how easy it was. Because I just beat it. And I don't remember much about it. But yeah. And the town layouts in this game doesn't look that bad, if I remember correctly. It's just walled cities going from point A to point B, and it doesn't look that bad for the NES towns. It looks like as good as like Castlevania and stuff like that. They're not that bad looking towns for the NES era. Nothing in this game, like forests, don't look bad. For the NES era, none of this game looks particularly bad. I would say that it's weird that every dungeon is just a different coat of paint. But for 1986, it doesn't look that bad. It's not pushing the NES hard war like Super Mario Brothers 3 does. But overall, I don't say anything wrong with this game. Except for the difficulty. See how I keep dying over and over and over again to the same enemy? If it wasn't for the NES auto renew, I would be playing this game, doing some of these dungeons over and over and over again till I could actually beat them. So that's why they say the difficulty is so hard. And the only place that doesn't look good are the dungeons, because it's the same color palette. But they do something with the NES, so I like it. I'm sorry, I'm just getting lost in watching the dungeon. This is still a review for Zelda II. One thing I like is the enemy designs. These, like I said, one thing I also like is the town designs. They're not good. They're not bad. I just wish it wasn't so cryptic of where you would go. Maybe it was just the translators they hired, but trying to get anywhere in this game was really hard. If it wasn't for fairies being around, I would constantly be dying in the overworld. Like, there's no direction. Made me not even think about picking up Zelda 2 a long time ago when I saw it on the Nintendo eShop, and I looked it up online and I tried it out, but I was so lost I didn't even try buying it. I bought Zelda 1 because of the online 8-bit store that I found online. That's a fun memory. I don't think it exists no more because of because it was a pirate website, and Nintendo tends to take those down. But yeah, it's the whole reason why I never gotten Zelda 2 for the longest time for the Wii. I only got to play it when I finally decided to get it for my second Wii, my black Nintendo Wii that I got. Then I don't know what happened to it, so it's interesting. Now, one thing a lot of people complain about are Death Mountain. I don't think I would have complained about it. But you know what? The mountains and forest areas, the only things I would complain about are these darn boomerang mokoblins. You don't even get a boomerang in the game to easily take care of them like you did in the original Zelda. And they're not even good design. I really don't like the boomerang enemies in The Legend of Zelda 2, Link's Awakening. It's just, ugly. Mokoblin Red isn't that bad. The spider enemies aren't that bad. It's just the boomerang ones. They look disgusting. And this is me getting lost. I remember this part where it was literally just me getting lost for a while. I have to use a guide for the entirety of the game, because this is just way too hard. there was a better hint system within the game, I would probably rank the game a lot higher on my top 20 Zelda games. But so far, it's definitely worse than the original Legend of Zelda, which I played about a year ago. But you know what? The Octoroks in this game definitely are better than the ones in the original Zelda. Like I was saying with Death Mountain, I think this is where I was. It's caves and hard boomerang guys that really let it down. Like, if it wasn't for those boomerang guys, I think the Death Mountain be a lot easier for me, because I can handle those guys who are constantly coming after you and are hitting you with the hammers and stuff. Those guys I just couldn't handle. And you get the life spell really early on to be able to heal yourself. So shield spell in Death Mountain really helps. Too bad you can't use both at the same time. And if you use one and leave an area, then you can no longer use the other. That's the bad part about it. These bat demons are pretty cool though. I think this is almost where I get the bat. Yeah, this is it. This is where I get the hammer. And I fall down and pick up a potion. Yeah, you remember all this from the Let's Play. If you really want to know what's going on here and how to get past the Death Mountain, you should definitely watch my Let's Play. Zelda II versus Tears of the Kingdom. And not just watch the Tears of the Kingdom part. My favorite part about these villages too is there's an old lady who heals your magic, and there's an old pretty lady who heals your life, making going to a town even if you're not doing the quests that you need to do to be able to beat the game, worth it. So yeah. I also like the designs of them. This is an excellent game for the NES area. If it wasn't so hard, it would have worked. And better dungeon layouts. One color is just enough. And I also like the little kid design, the character designs for like little kids and stuff. Every character outside of houses look exactly the same. Every character in town looks exactly the same. You kind of get a personality with the guys inside the houses, what they say. I just wish there was more helpful hints, so I'm not constantly looking for a town that I had no clue what I was looking for. But yeah. So I talked about houses and towns. One thing I'm going to show you is this was the only type of puzzle. Breaking a wall and not dying puzzles. That was the only puzzle, if you even count that as a puzzle. You break a wall, you go through, and you're trying not to die. See, every puzzle in Zelda II is a combat puzzle, which most people don't like. In Zelda 1, they weren't all combat puzzles, so why did they have to choose combat over exploration? I don't know. It just doesn't seem fair. And if you die, you get the Return of Ganon display, and it's very annoying. And all I was doing here is trying to solve the puzzle to be able to get this key, and it's just so much annoyances. And in the Let's Play, I think I only have 2 more dungeons left. Yeah, because I just did the Ocean Temple. But I do have good things to say, but let's just watch the clips for a bit. This game teaches you a lot about spell management. Because if you use a spell too many times, you just cannot use another spell to be able to get into certain areas. I hate these guys. Takes up most of my entire Let's Play, which kills me. Darn. But I think now I'm going to show one of my favorite things. I'm not getting water. Where are they? You talk to these guys. They heal you. I really like healing in this game. I think I explained it earlier. But it's just an easy, simple solution to getting healed. Talk to a beautiful lady, bam, you're healed. I don't even know where Durnia was. Yeah, designing of these towns aren't that bad. Have detail, mirrors, houses, windows. Like, I can actually tell I'm in a town. Well, these enemies, they're annoying. They're invulnerable when their eyes are closed. I don't even know what you would call them. Floating eyes? Keys? I don't know. But but like I said, they have really good designed done enemies and dungeons, and if it wasn't for the combat focus being so hard and a little bit of actual puzzle solving, this game would have been one of the best. I also like the raft animation. I also really like how there is no wrong answer to this maze puzzle. Yes, it is a maze, but there was no real wrong answer. Every way got you to the maze temple. And it made me feel smart. This wasn't my fault, but I don't like or anything I can do. I don't like that the dungeon music is copyrighted, or I would have played more of it during the Let's Play. This is my favorite boss in the entire dungeon, even in the entire game. It's just a bigger goblin, but it takes a lot of skill and effort. the worst dungeon boss was the second one, where all he had to do was stab his head. But King Wizrobe is a good boss. This is a good boss. I think, two, but yeah, the Knight on a Horse is the lamest boss in Zelda 2, in my opinion. But this is a good boss. So, if this is my favorite boss, what is the worst boss? The most annoying enemy in these games must be the flying skeletons on a pit of lava in front of a knight. That is the worst enemy in this game. A lot of the things you can circumvent, but you can't really circumvent that. Well, that is my review of The Legend of Zelda 2. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. You can watch me play around in this room, but I think I'm pretty much done. So I hope you like and subscribe.